Did you refuse to speak evil? Did you refuse to see it? Did you refuse to do it? What's your score? Did you refuse to think about it? Triumph for redeeming grace. Triumph? Did you have a triumph? Redeeming grace? You get yourself out of it? Did you move the universe forward? Did you keep it going and growing? Did you? Did you make people laugh? Or did you not make them laugh? Did you say something too evil, Lester? Did you give away any money? Did you do anything to stop the senseless cruelty to animals? One view is that these animals live in filth all their lives. All you have to do is go down Route 9, for instance, and come within 100 feet of the Williams farm, and the stench is disgusting. It's overwhelming. And those poor cows, those poor, dear, gentle cows have to live in that all of their lives. Then the stench of the feces and the urine in the trucks that transport them to a horrible death. And just think of the stench and the blood and the filth that's in a slaughterhouse. How can anybody eat anything that dirty? I thought you weren't supposed to think of evil. Oh, I was trying to stop people from causing the cruelty to animals by putting those bad things in their mouths. What else did you do this week? Did you get your work done? Did you do what your conscience told you to do? Who is your conscience? Your conscience is the voice of your soul. Well, who is your soul? It's the God inside of you. Maybe I like this background so much. Too much traffic noise. Even on a Sunday morning at 10 o'clock. Church time. Did you improve your vocabulary? Did you get rid of old, tired, worn out words? Raggedy words, worn down to nothing. Yeah, there is too much traffic here, even though we like this back there. Should we move deeper into the inner sanctum? I think so. Well, did we finish that first part anyway? This is Glendora, soul to soul, every Sunday morning. See no evil, hear no evil, speak no evil, do no evil, think no evil. Did you do that? We covered that. Did you give away any money? To charities, to people who need it. To animals, to your neighbor. Did you remember that we are a unified whole? The onlyness. Did you Did you remember the onlyness, the allness? That there's only God? Did you eat right? Did you drink 5 glasses of water a day? Did you give an account of yourself? Did you keep a record? Okay, let's pack up the tripod and the cannon, and let's go down where you won't hear the cars going by. Jesus calls us. To me, Jesus is helping others. So, Jesus calls us for the tune of life's wild and restless sea. Day by day, his sweet voice sounded, saying, Christian, follow me. Christian is helping others. How is this better? Do you hear any cars? Can you see just as well? Let me move the table and get closer to the camera. Is this better? Were you mean to anybody this week? Were you mean to anybody? Remember, the Apostle Paul says in Romans 11:13, or is it Romans 13:11, each one of us shall give an account of himself. We're taking an account of ourselves for the week of August the 14th, 2017. What did you do to help anybody this week? Did you count your blessings? Not only, and when you count your blessings, you don't count the blessings that comes to you that makes you better than somebody else. You count the blessings that we all enjoy together. The rain, the magnificent rain. The earth is thirsty. The plants are thirsty. The rain that we drink. The rain that keeps our urinary system clear and clean. The rain that we cook with. Then the beautiful sunshine the next day. Beethoven's Sixth Symphony, isn't it? The third movement. Ta 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 ta. After the storm. Ta 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 da 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 da. What did you do for the world? Did you move it forward? Did you remember the oneness? That we're all one? And we're all together? And did you remember that we're all happily working together to move the universe forward? Okay. Isn't it beautiful, this world? Don't you love this world? Isn't it fascinating? Don't you love the sun's, the Earth's trip around this sun takes all year? Now we're coming into the vernal, or the autumnal equinox. What were your joys of the week? all of our joys for the week. Were you thankful to the United States of America? Were you thankful that there wasn't any war on our land? Were you thankful for Social Security and the United States Postal Service? Did you spend time at home with your conscience and with your soul? Did you think it over? Did you remember it? Did you make anybody happy? Did you put others first and yourself last? Leave yourself behind? Did you stay away from ego? Did you understand that you're never any better than anybody else? That we're all one? And it's a fiction to take away a piece of the universe all by yourself in a corner and say, I'm better than anybody else. I'm smarter, I'm richer, I've got better clothes. Did you deny yourself anything? Again, did you help the animals? Okay, what's your score? Well, I'm going to give you an A. I'll give you an A. You got an A. Our Bible passage today is from the book of Matthew, the Gospel of Matthew, the first book in the New Testament. And Matthew was a tax collector, and he saw Jesus, and he realized what he was doing wasn't really what the world wanted or needed. So he dropped everything. He dropped everything. Now that's a classic example of self, showing off. He thinks he's better than anybody because he can make more noise than anybody. And he thinks that the whole world is going to turn its attention to him. Positively. Well, maybe, but negatively. That's a very good example of self in fiction. He hasn't found reality. And the passage from Matthew 6:23 speaks about if your eye is evil, then your whole body is evil. And that's a good lesson for us. Remember that if we see evil, it's going to turn us all evil all the way around, all through us. So that's why we keep saying, do not see evil. It's going to stain your whole body, and your whole mind, and your thought, and your brain, and your heart, and your soul. So you don't see evil. Hear it, speak it, think it, or do it. Where was that passage? Matthew. What chapter? 6. What verse? 23. Our hymn is, there's a hymn called Onward Christian Soldiers, and people are becoming enlightened about it, that it really isn't a good hymn because it likens doing good and going to church to war. So, but all you have to do is change the words. That's all you have to do. And clean it up. Onward, Christian children, marching for the cause, with the cross of Jesus going on before. Christ the loyal master, lead against the foe. Who's the foe? Selfishness and ego. Forward into challenges. Forward we go. Ho! Onward, Christian children, marching for the cause, with the cross of Jesus going on before. And what is the cause? Yep, you're right. To keep the universe going and growing. To work together joyfully and have good time doing it. Now another hymn that brings that out is, we are one with the Spirit, we are one with the Lord, we are one with the Spirit, we are one with the Lord. And we pray that the unity one day be restored, and we'll know, and they'll know, we are Christians by our love, by our love. They will know we see things right, by our love, by our love. What are Christians? Christians are people who live for others, help others, do good, keep the universe forward, going and growing. Now, may I please ask your permission to repeat the jokes of last Sunday? Because these jokes are way ahead of the Facebook, and they're way ahead of the telephone jokes, way ahead of the Facebook jokes, and way ahead of the telephone jokes. And that mixes everything up, and it isn't orderly. Okay? So let's do these last Sundays. Fortunately, they're good ones. The sign in the restaurant window that said, don't make fun of our coffee, someday you'll be old and weak too. And the longest word in the English language is smiles. S-M-I-L-E-S, smiles. Between the first S and the last S is what? A mile. The scoutmaster said, you see that big steep cliff over there? Well, we're going to climb that next. And the little scout began to shiver and shake and his knees knock. And he said to the scoutmaster, do people fall off of that cliff often? And the scoutmaster said, no, once is usually enough. I always thought, folks, that it would be fun to be married to an archaeologist. The older you get, the more interested in you he gets. And did I tell you about the couple who married so late in life that Medicare picked up 80% of the honeymoon? And the wisecracker said to the city clerk, how much did it cost to get married? She said $40 and one paycheck every week the rest of your life. Daddy, why do they call English the mother tongue? Daddy. Because father never gets a chance to use it. And the couple who got married so young in life that half of the wedding presents were manufactured by Mattel. The man said, a husband is like wine. The older he gets, the better he gets. And a woman said, if I'd known that, I would have kept mine in the cellar. Woman got married 4 times. Hold it, I have to think about this one. First she married an actor. No, that's wrong. First she married a banker. Then she married an actor. Then she married a minister. And then she married an undertaker. 1 for the money, 2 for the show, 3 to get ready, and 4 to go. And the couple, when they got married, they couldn't afford to go to Niagara Falls. They went to the car wash instead. And Harry said to Bill, "You remind me of Dan Smith." Bill says, "I am not a thing like Dan Smith." And Harry says, "Oh yes you are. You both owe me $10. And honey, the man said to make his wife feel good, that she wasn't aging. He said, "Honey, you look the same as you did 25 years ago." And she said, "That's because I'm wearing the same dress." There was a sign in front of a house, and it said, "Drum set for sale." There was a sign in the house next to it that said, "Hooray!" A midget fortune teller escaped from jail. The headline in the newspaper was, "Small, medium, at large." And the daddy said, "Son, you have to learn from the mistakes of others. You simply do not have time to make them all yourself." We are one with the Spirit, we are one with the Lord. We are one with the Spirit, we are one with the Lord. And we pray that the unity one day be restored, and they'll know we are good people by our love, by our love. This is Glendora Soul to Soul on the 20th of August, Sunday, around 10 a.m. I want you to share with me the things that happened to you this past week. We did a little bit of that when we cross-examined each other. It's called Glendora Care and Share. People do that with me over the phone. I ask them what they did, and then they ask me what I did. So that way we find out what we all did together to have a good time. The Glendora Vegetarian Club, we brought it up to date. The log is up to date. The statistics are 772 hours in 4 years and, let's see, 6 months, 4.5 years. We're up to the 59th meeting. And how much money has been spent? $16,899. What? $16,899. Another $101, and it'll be $17,000 in 4.5 years. And how many pages in the log? 665. Two and a half hours yesterday going through the events of August of 2016. Now that's very interesting. So first of all, you keep a joy board. You know, it's a log of what has been done and a list of what must be done. It is God's will, it's the universe's will to have this done. It's the will of all of us to have this done. 2.5 hours to go over the highlights of the month of August. That was a year ago that we all went to Boston. Helen, Gloria, Madeline, Victoria, and Glendora, and Bruce Burton. And the announcement was made that A Chat with Glendora is the longest running public access television show in the world. To whose credit? Hundreds. To the credit of 67 TV stations, to the credit of dozens and dozens of cable companies and cable operators, to the United States government for making public access TV a law, along with the states doing the same, and along with the municipalities doing the same. Public access is a law. The public must have access to TV. As of 1970, about. A Chat with Glendora, the longest running public access television show in the world, 44 years then, 45 now. 11,300 TV shows then, 11,600 TV shows now. The Glendora Public Access Television Network of 67 TV stations affiliates going from Boston across the country to San Diego. That's a pretty big event to remember. It was Chapin. It was the first year of learning how to put a joke a day on the Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. And of the inception of the world's tiniest TV show, 30 Seconds with Glendora. It was a year of beautiful weather. It was a year of helping animals through Madeline Chapin, who has done stentorian work rescuing cats and dogs. It was a year of very good weather. It was a year of Linda and Mace owning this property, keeping it up quasi, not stellar, of trying to sell it for 5 years, 10 different realtors, and people going through the happy house looking at it, tracking in gravel, and 10 or 12 realtors or 10 or 12 people having a key to the house. But that doesn't really bother me. I really can't remember being deprived by theft of more than maybe 2 or 3 things. I can remember one assault. Anyway, that's 2016. A very glorious year, and so much to rejoice about, and show so much sharing it all with you. How many TV shows in a year? Well, we said 300. How many telephone calls in a year? About 7,000. How many telephone calls is it up to date now? 56,354 since 2013. That is wrong, Glendora, since 2003. So, was it worth that 2.5 hours and a headache? Yes. Care and share. The in-mail is a prodigious amount of work and expense. Since the year 1937, Glendora and Franklin have spent $62,000 in postage. How much? $62,000. A big event of past week, is Kayla and Jeff upstairs in the apartment got married at Birch Hill. They were married Friday at 6 p.m. And remember, the people next door got married June the 24th at the Lions Lake Club. Is this interesting? Why do people nowadays live together and then get married? What is the logic behind that? What is the morality behind that? We had lettuce and tomato sandwiches on the lawn. A painter is doing a grand job refurbishing apartment 51B where Cassidy used to live. Cassidy, the electrician. We kept up with Facebook, a joke every day, and a hymn 2 or 3 times a week. Is that a good idea? It isn't growing any. It's about 1,000 people see it a week. It isn't growing any. And I notice now that Facebook says boost this page, $550. Reach 14,000 people. It used to be boost this page, reach 4,000 people, $10. So I guess Facebook is doing all right. 47A continues to be ravishly denuded and built up from the very walls, the outside walls built up. Feeding the birds twice a day, what? Usually a pot this big of rice and a loaf of bread this big, home-baked bread this big, and it is delicious. The 1980 was uncovered and lay in its bare maroon beauty in the yard so people could see that it had changed position and that it is an operating vehicle, and it is indeed. At 300,000 miles, it runs gloriously. And the 1980 Lincoln was the first year that Ford made the mark, the luxury car. It was the first year that they made the mark a 4-door. So it's 3 cars. It's a town car, a Mark 6, and a Continental. It's a marvelous piece of machinery. Okay. The tenant at number 43 next door moved out, and so far as I know at the latest report, without paying July rent, without paying August rent, and leaving all of the possessions there. However, making rather suspicious trips with a big black truck back to the premises and removing things, maybe. The willow tree, William, Wisconsin willow tree, is magnificent. And he's only a year old, a year and 3 months. And he's way up here with thousands of leaves. Grass is getting hard to find, but I can find it. She likes the short ones. Dark-com likes the short ones. No longer than that. And coming off of the stem, not off the ground. Gregory was here, and he sent an article to the Advertiser about the Glendora Vegetarian Club, and he ordered several products from Amazon. These great big black Sharpies. I can't see these Sharpies anymore, but I can see this one. Oh, and the handwriting has improved a tiny bit at last, and as far as legibility goes. Pass It On is up to date. Information comes in, and I figure that it would help you. It would help the universe for you to know it. So I pass it on to you. In-mail, as I say, is a prodigious undertaking. It's about 3 a day. It's all usually requests for money. We try to send everybody who asks for money a $5 money order, and then we send it out anonymously so that the mailbox won't be stuffed with an impossible load to carry. And we had to do disclaimers for 3 TV stations: Hudson, New York, West Hartford, Connecticut, and Quincy, Massachusetts. Now, these disclaimers don't mean a thing. It makes me say that this TV station is not responsible for this show. Glendora is. So I say this TV station is not responsible for this magnificent public access show. Glendora is. Now, the law clearly states that. No TV station is responsible for public access TV shows. The producer of the show is. And making a TV producer such as Glendora put it on her show is rank violation of Title 47 in the United States Code, Section 523C, which says that nobody who operates a TV station can exercise editorial control over public access TV. We are the last ones to speak the truth. We are not controlled by anybody. So they all should be sued for everything they have. However, we don't have any courts that know anything about justice and the law. They don't know the law. They don't deal with the truth. They'll deal with ambushes and those roundabout things. What do you call them? And ambiguities and ambivalences. They just don't deal with the truth. That's what a court does. It's its job to ascertain the truth between 2 parties and make an award to the party who has been wrong, whose rights have been violated. But they don't do that. They obfuscate. They put a veil over it. They talk about something else. Who? All the courts. Town courts? Village courts? Yes. Municipal courts? Yes. County courts? Yes. State courts? Indeed. How about federal courts? Just as bad as the state courts. How about the Supreme Court of the Union? How about the courts of appeal? Oh. How about the Supreme Court of the United States? Just as bad. Just as bad. Okay. We did 4 half-hour shows for the month of October to be repeated in November for the following TV stations: Merida, Jamestown, Trenton, Richfield. I thought we got away from the road. And Norwalk. And a couple of others. It's a job. First you have to do the video, then you have to take the video from an SD card, which is on this camera, to DVD. You have to put titles at on the screen as to what the show is about. You have to label the disc, the name of the show, the date it was made, what weeks it is for, what dates it is to be played, how many minutes and seconds it is, which TV station is going to, and which week it is to be played. A Herculean task. And we do about 300 of those every 2 months, or over a 2-month period. My friend Seki took his automobile, great big Audi, huge thing, huge expensive car, and he drove all the way to Washington State, and to Oregon, and to California, to visit the concentration camp that his father, that his daddy, a minister, Buddhist, was incarcerated during the war, World War II. The Japanese, the Italians, the Germans, a couple others. And I apologized to my friend Seki for that. These people were honest, upright, American citizens, and their rights were violated. Horrible. So he went to the camp and saw where his daddy had been, and he said a Buddhist prayer. Then he went on to Los Angeles, where a professor is publishing a book on these concentration camps, and he somehow or other is involved in that, probably leading it. And then he called me up, and he says, I've left Los Angeles, I'm 190 miles east, Albuquerque, New Mexico. And then he would call me each day. And the way he did it, in the morning, he would map out how far he would go and where he would hope to be that evening. And then he'd call up the hotel in that area and make a reservation. How many days did it take him to go across the country? 5. I don't see how he did that. I've driven across the country twice in 7 days. Or that means some days he had to go 600 to 700 miles. And the last I heard from him, he was coming into Cookstown, Tennessee, thence to Harrisburg, Virginia, hence to New York State, White Plains, Westchester County, where he abides. And he just told me yesterday he wants to do it again in 2 years. He's making it a goal to do it again in 2 years. And this time, not be so hurried. This time, take a month. And when he sees a sign, so-and-so cabins, or such and such museum, or such and such a display, oh, if that's interesting, he'll turn off and see it. And he's made the determination to give up his Audi, and guess what he wants to buy? A pickup truck. Okay, feeding the birds every day. We told you this much bread and this much rice, and this week we're going to change it to macaroni. "40 blessings every hour?" Yes, either blessings or rejoices. Yes, every hour awake. How many telephone calls? We covered that. 56,354. Do you have a goal? Yes. Do you have a goal? Do you have a dream? Yes. I would like to finish everything on the cycle in a day instead of taking a whole week to do it. I'd like to have it get done each day. This neighbor, he's never heard a noise he doesn't like. You can count on him to ruin your sitting outdoors almost every hour. Yesterday it was a lawnmower. Today, what do you think it is? Okie doke. That's the neighbor who demolished the 100-foot high weeping willow tree that was 100 years old. Okay, money spent. We started out with $14.85 left for the month of August. We gave 30 of it to St. Mary's Roman Catholic Church. $7 for yeast, nutritional yeast for kitty cat. She likes that on her veggie meats. $5 for something that I can't read. $33 for Joy books. $15 for Sharpies. Hey!
Morning.
And it is.
On the way to work.
$7 for emery boards to try to keep the toenails smooth. And $15 for something. And $3 for candy, and $4 for motor oil, and $11 for more spiral notebooks, and $50 to Gregory, and $161 for those things that we ordered over Amazon, free shipping. Another $50 to Gregory, $100 to Compassion Over Killing, $5 to Best Friends, Animal Rescue Group, $46 Sue Groceries, Price Chopper, $66 to National Grid Electric. $5 for Mohawk Hudson Humane Society. $100 to Susan Hayward for being such a faithful friend and rescuing feral cats, and for keeping a chat with Glendora on TV and Peekskill for something like 10 years or more. And We have $863 left to get us through the August. One woman says, why is there so much month left over at the end of the money? Let it go and fill this coming week, the week of August the 21st, with love and cheer and happiness and generosity and sweetness and kindness and significance, and moving the universe forward, keeping it going and growing. Let us go and do that. Hand in hand, all of us together, having fun, and keeping our hearts pure, and keeping our will one with the universe. And what is the universe? It is all of us. It is all of us, a unified whole. We are one with the Spirit. We are one with the Lord. We are one with the Spirit. We are one with the Lord. And we pray that the unity one day be restored. See that old unity, that old oneness, that allness? And they'll know we are good people by our love, by our love, by our love. They will know we are good people.
As the cat, sorry I missed your call. Hey, so you really don't need to place an ad for the cat. He's totally fine here, and Orange Street will be in charge of finding a home for him. And I do have somebody who's very interested in taking him home. They are on vacation right now. I've already spoken to her, and she's going to go to meet the folks at Orange Street to fill out the paperwork, and when I get home from my vacation, she will come over here and meet him and may very, very possibly take him home. So please feel free to take that advertisement out, because he's staying with me until he finds a home. And he's very, very happy here. We call him Grover, and he's happy as a clam. He gets along with my cat, so all is well on his front. So please feel free to take that out, because he's not going anywhere with Orange Street taking care of him. So feel free to give me a call back if you need to. Otherwise, I'm sure I'll talk to you soon. Take care, Glendora. Bye.
End of message. To erase this message, press.
What about the sign in the restaurant window? What sign? The sign says, don't make fun of our coffee. Someday you'll be old and weak too.
Hi, my name is Sherry. Calling in regards to the in the paper, Bake with the Cat, $20 a week. My number is 518-105810. Hi. That's the number. That's the number. Press that. My number is.
Big like county truck, you know what I mean? That just kept packing snow.
You better say that.
I have no clue. Just dumped right in there.
End of message. To erase this message, press. Message saved. Next message.
Hi, Glendora. This is Julie Otterbeck with Countryside Rentals. Please call me back at 518-477-1438. I'm calling in regards to us changing the locks tomorrow on Tuesday. So please call me back. Thank you. Bye-bye.
End of message. To erase this message, press 7. To send a reply message, press 8. To send it, press 9. To hear more options, press 0. Message saved. Next message.
Hi, Glendora. It's Jennifer from the Yonkers office.
Jennifer, Yonkers, New York,
I just wanted to
Cablevision.
let you know how many DVDs
Listen to this, folks. System, because you're going to get postage, and send it in so we can know back what you did. So for Norwalk, there are 20 discs.
26 Norwalk.
Has 45. Wappingers has 108, and the Yonkers and Westchester system has 150. Okay?
150 Yonkers and 108 and Wappingers. And I think
Wappingers has 108. Litchfield has 45. Norwalk has 20. If you have any questions, please give me a call back, 914-378-4522. Thank you so much.
now that's something to keep.
End of message. To erase this message.
You know what that's about, folks?
End of new message. First saved voice message.
Hi, Glendora. It's Susanne Cardinal. I'm the one that has the cat. Sorry I missed your call. Hey, so you really don't need to place an ad for the cat. He's totally fine here. And
Good word.
will be in charge of finding a home for him.
Accomplishment.
And I do have somebody who's very interested in taking him home. They're
Happy
on
news.
vacation right now. I've already spoken to her. And she's going to go to meet the folks at Orange Street to fill out the paperwork. And when I come from my vacation, she'll come up here and meet him and may very, very possibly take him home. So, please feel free to
Good
take
word,
her
good news.
advertisement out, because he's very, very happy here. We call him Grover, and he's happy to play him. He gets
Grover.
along with my cat, so all is well on his front. So, please feel free to take that out, because he's not going anywhere with Orange Street taking care of him. So,
Okay.
feel free to give me a call back if you need to. Otherwise, I'm sure I'll talk to you soon. Take care, Glendora.
Good news.
Bye.
Well, folks, I did call back and both numbers were out of order. Figure that one out. So this morning I wrote her a 3-page letter and sent her a copy of Lucent and sent her copies of the Glendora Vegetarian Club on the cover of American Vegan Society. I sent her the Pittsfield newspaper articles. I sent her a whole bunch of clippings and things. And wrote a nice letter and told her that I would keep the ad in because I want some people to go to if this ever happens again. Okay.
The way it was designed, 2,000 miles an hour. So it's moving pretty fast.
You say it's supposed to last until 3, and the last time you looked it was
Yeah, I
going
think
across
it's,
Illinois, and it's going at about 2,000 miles an hour?
Yeah, it's about 2,000 miles an hour.
Yeah, so
No,
what time is it now, dear?
It's 2:41.
2:41, so it'll be over here around 3 o'clock, you say?
Something like that, yeah.
It is a very strange light, and I do remember it from the last eclipse. It looks at that same color. And the last eclipse was 7 minus, was it 2010, the last eclipse?
I think it was, the last total in the United States was 1979. And that was one that hit the West Coast more than it did the East Coast.
You know, I have to tell you something very strange. The last eclipse here in New York, I saw little tiny circles that had crescents in them. And I saw, maybe 30 or 40 of them on the ground.
Uh-huh.
Now, what do you suppose that was? I did take a video of it. But they were little circles, and they had little crescents in them. And they looked just like an eclipse. And they were
on the ground?
Yep, they were on the ground, and they were about as big as a 50-cent piece. And there must have been about 30 of them.
Wow, I don't know.
The shadow on the ground. That was it. That was interesting.
That must have been pretty.
Yeah, I don't
They
know.
were on the ground, not in the sky, they were on the ground.
Yeah, they were outside of my house, right there on the ground, and only a very small area. But I do see that. I do see that eclipse light. I remember it from the last eclipse. I do see it.
I'll bet I know what they were. Glowworms. They were probably the larvae of lightning bugs, and when it went dark, they
they lit up. They were probably glowworms.
No, they were, they were just light. They were just made by the light.
Yeah, and that would make them look like they were like little crescents, because they kind of curl. And they were the larvae of lightning bugs. And when the lights when it went dark, they thought it was night, so they started glowing. So I bet it was glowworms.
I don't think so. No, honey, they were just reflections.
Oh, I don't know.
Of light. They weren't creatures.
Oh, okay.
But anyway, I see that eclipse color. I really see an eclipse. This is good. Thank you for calling me and telling me.
See, I thought you were calling me.
Yeah.
I said, oh my God, it's Glendora. She was my first astronaut hero. She's calling me during the eclipse.
I'm going to, I think I'll sing you a hymn. How's that? I'll sing you one of your Reformed Church hymns. How's this? Are you ready?
Yeah.
Jesus calls us o'er the tumult of life's wild and restless sea. By day his sweet voice soundeth, saying, Christian, follow me.
Nice.
Yeah?
Nice. Yeah.
Very nice.
Nice.
All right, my honey. Thank you so much for calling me during the eclipse.
Yeah, thank you for calling me during the eclipse.
Take care.
All right, you too. Bless you.
Bless you too. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay, I have an in-call. I feel it, folks. I feel the difference. And it feels like the difference that I saw in the last eclipse. About 5 minutes to 3. How fast does the moon travel around the Earth? Is that what the 2,000 miles per hour referred to? It's nice they're covering it on TV. It's kind of eerie, isn't it? No, it's a delight. It's another great work of the universe. I think they cut down the trumpet vine this year. Maybe it fell down. But every other year you couldn't see that building at all. It was covered with trumpet vine, wall and roof. James Dixon called and I thought he should go out and see it. He's in Manhattan. Can you see anything in Manhattan? Where does he live? Up in Harlem. For the beauty of the earth, for the glory of the skies, for the love which from our birth over and around us lies. Lord of all, to thee we raise this our hymn of grateful praise. For the joy of every hour, hill and vale and tree and flower, morning, noon, and sleep at night, sun and moon and stars of light. Lord of all, to thee we raise this our hymn of grateful praise. That really is a startling experience to see the sun disappear in the middle of the day, and not because of clouds. No clouds around. It just disappears. That's pretty startling. Because how we love our sun. How we love our sun. There's still something cloudy about the sunlight. Now that we can see some sunlight. Yes, our great and magnificent nuclear furnace. We don't want anything to happen to it. James Dixon says, is the world coming to an end? Ha! Do you feel any difference? Do you see any difference now in the light? It's 4:20 or so. Not a great deal. Not a great deal. I had a friend who lived in Scarsdale, New York. And he was some kind of a magnate on Wall Street. He would go all around the world every time there was a solar eclipse. I remember him once, during the time I knew him, the 80s, 70s, he went to Russia. Huh. He would go anywhere. That was his hobby. And he had a lot of money, so he indulged himself. What did you just finish at 9:15 p.m. on August 21st, 2017? The finances, the end of the month for June, July, and August. That is the file. And the receipts are in here. And I'll read you the totals on Glendora Soul to Soul on August 27th. There's just 1 month of summer left. Hi, Mr. Lockman.
How are you?
Good. How are you? Hi.
That little screwdriver works good. Because it gets right into the hole. And you can spin it with your finger. You gotta push this in and then it'll come out. Push that in.
Lash coming out.
You know what size it is? Should say. Oh, here's some notes. Show them how to do one or two.
Oh, okay. So there's what, 2 keys per each block?
Yep.
That's correct.
The keyhole goes on the outside of the door. Hang on. You have to put that. You gotta push the latch in. Yeah, you see how it's like having one go on the inside. You might have to spin this. got a regular one. The little screw, so just throw in these boxes. I was gonna take the lock apart from the latch, because the latch slides through the wall.
You know about the sign in the restaurant window?
Uh-huh.
It said, "Don't make fun of our coffee, someday you'll be old and weak too."
Push it back in. Turn that bolt. Like, see the hole in the middle? The gray hole? Spin that. Here's your bolt. Because there's the top of this thing. Make sure it's catching on the door. You should get pulled out now. This is what was here.
Yeah, it slides back.
That's what was here. So this is the bottom of the Navtec ledge.
Mm.
Just going on the bottom.
You got a rubber?
Are you able to use the old locks for anything?
Recycle.
You want my old key?
No, you could pitch it. Yep, because it's 2 3/8. We don't need it 2 3/8. So I'll just take those. Now with these, there's a timing. See how this spins?
Yep.
You always want it towards the hinge. So you're putting it on the door this way. Hinge is over here. You want it this side. Put it on the door, hinge is over here. Turn it that way. Because if you don't, you're only going to get the deadbolt to go halfway. Like you only turn it halfway and then it stops. So now it's 360. Let's spin that all the way around 360.
Okay.
So we're going to take and you always turn the tail towards the hinge.
Okay.
And this is just like a 3-door stick. You can take this off and then you go over the extra. We don't have to worry about that here. Yep. And actually, you can just let that thing go right now. It helps a little bit, you know. Just silvers or the old screws.
Call Blakeman.
tight, is tight. Too tight.
Call Blakeman.
Right, so that's good.
Good.
What do you agree?
I'll be part of the longest stuff.
Not over tight.
Yeah.
Definitely too tight. Just tight. Maybe just a little more than tight. That's good. Because it gets real hard to clean. It's hard to tight. Screws in the latch. I'll close it and see if they both work. It's a little tough. Push on the door and try. Alright.
It sounds like it's on alignment if you put it up.
Oh, hi there, dear Andrew.
How you doing, Glendora?
Oh, very fine. And your sister got off fine back to Minnesota by going on the LaGuardia?
Yeah, she reached her destination. That's correct.
And what did you do at Ellis Island? Did you correct all the spelling errors?
I couldn't begin to start.
No, yeah. They are multitudinous.
Yeah, they were. That was
So this apartment
Eh,
is 42A.
Andrew, are you going near the Nassau Village Post Office?
I hope so.
I have I would like to buy 10 $5 money orders.
10 what?
Money orders for $5.
Oh.
And I would
Yeah,
like,
I'll put the keys in the door.
yeah, I don't know when we're going to get to the post office, but that is on our agenda.
oh good, and I have a package there from Amazon.
You want them?
And then I would like 2 sheets of 20-cent stamps.
It'll get ready.
Okay, well,
I'm also gonna have a
yeah,
single.
the Nassau post office, right?
Yeah, it'd have to be the Nassau Village Post Office.
Will
I'll just, if you're going to go there, I'll just call them and ask them, will they please
That's right.
give it
I'll
to
have
Andrew and Sandy Blakeman.
Yeah, we'll have.
Okay, so you need,
They're quite used to that, honey. They're quite used to that.
yeah.
Yes, so I need 10 money orders for $5 each.
Yeah.
That's $62.
Hold on a second, all right. Sandy's writing here. Sandy's writing and 10 $5 postal money orders that come to $62.
62, yeah.
$62, all right. And then you need a package picked up
Did you say I was gonna have
Yes.
four sheets?
Amazon for you, and then you need 2 sheets of postage stamps.
Yeah, the second ounce, I think it's 20 cents. It's penquins.
Two for the,
Oh.
two for the.
It's penquins.
Oh,
And it's the second ounce. The second ounce is only 20 cents, or
Yeah,
maybe,
I understand.
maybe
Yeah,
it's 22.
okay, got it.
Well, great.
2 sheets of penguins, second ounce postage stamp. Right?
Yeah, you're very good, Andrew.
You're very good too. So, alrighty then. Well, what we'll do is we will call you before we go to the post office, alright?
Oh, nice.
And that way you can call them and tell them that.
Yeah. I think I'll call them right now. It's Nancy is my friend there. Nancy and Michael are my friends there.
Alright, okay, good. Alright, well, alright, talk to you later then, alright?
Nice going, Andrew. Thank you.
Alright, brilliant. Okay, take care.
all right, here's your new key.
Oh, hi, Julie. How are you?
There's your new key, and I'll bring in Kayla's when we do it, okay?
Okay,
When I
yeah.
do Kayla and Jeff's, I'll put it in an envelope and give it to you.
Okay.
Okay?
Yep.
All right, thanks.
Any day.